In this tutorial, we are going to learn two constraints, primary key and foreign key. Here you can see a list of MySQL constraints, and we complete our 4 constraints in our previous videos. And in this video, we are going to cover primary key and foreign key. As I told you earlier, constraint mean restrictions to our tables column. Our primary key and foreign key also work as a restriction. So first, let's try to understand what is primary key. When we set a primary key in a column, we need to store always unique data. There will be no duplication in it. Now you can think we can do the same job using unique constraint. But there is a difference between unique key constraint and primary key constraint. We can store null value when we use unique constraint, but we cannot store null value in primary key. And remember, we can set primary key only once in our table. We can use it just for one column. But we know we can use unique constraint in multiple columns. We cannot use primary key like this. We can use it only for one column. Here you can see a student table, and you can see we have 4 columns in this table: ID, name, age and city. There can be many students with the same name, and the same situation goes for age and city. Here you can see Smith is from London and also Emma is from London. So we cannot use primary key constraint for city column. And you can see a column name ID. Here we can set primary key because all of the 3 conditions satisfied with this column. All the data in these columns are unique. And our second condition is we cannot store null value in this column because when we add a new student in this table, we always give a new ID. So let's see how we can set primary key in a new table. Let's see the syntax. First we need to type create table command. Then you need to type the table name. And then I'm going to create a column named ID. And its data type is int, and I don't want to leave it blank, so I use not null constraint, and I use another constraint auto increment. It's mean whenever we add a new data in this table, we don't need to provide the ID every time. It automatically increment itself. First time when we set a value, it automatically take 1 as an ID. Then I'm going to take another column which is name, and its data type is varchar, and I set character limit for this column. We can use only 50 characters, and I don't want to leave this column blank, so I use not null. And then I'm going to create our third column, city. But here you can see we use int data type for city. I'm going to explain you later why I use int data type for city. And now I'm going to use primary key. First we need to type this keyword primary key. Then inside the parenthesis we need to provide the column which I want to set primary key, and I want to set ID as primary key. So in this way, we can set primary key when we create new table. And now I'm going to show you the process if we already have a table and I want to set primary key in a column. For this, we need to type alter table keyword. Then we need to provide the table name, and we need to use add keyword. And then just type primary key, and inside the parenthesis, we need to provide the column name where I want to add primary key. Using alter table keyword, we can modify our table. And I'm going to explain this keyword in our upcoming videos. Let's talk about foreign key. What is foreign key? The main reason to use it if we want to link 2 tables together. And the most important part is it contains only that value which is the primary key value of another table. We do this because we want to join both the tables. We want to create link between them. Let's make it more simple. Here you can see a table named city. We just use 2 columns for this table, CID for city ID and city name. And we have another table named student. And we have 4 columns in this table, ID, name, age and city. In my city table, I want to make CID column primary key. Similarly, in my student table, I want to make ID column primary key. As you can see a column name city, here you can see city names. But we already created a table name city. As you can see, I save all the city names here, and now I don't want to type city name. I just want to provide city ID from city table, something like that. And we can set this column foreign key. So we use CID column value in city column. CID is our primary key, and we use this value in other foreign key table. Advan was from Delhi, so his city ID is 1. Similarly, Smith is from London, so his city ID is 2. We can link our table using foreign key and primary key. That's why we use these 2 keys. If we save data like this, it creates our table more lighter, more faster. we don't need to provide repeated name every time. Just we need to pass their ID. That's it. Let's talk about foreign key syntax. We need to follow the same process. After set primary key, next I'm going to set foreign key. First we need to type foreign key and we need to type it capital letter. And then you need to provide the column name where you want to set foreign key. And I want to set city column as a foreign key. That's why I use in data type for city, because here I am going to save ID, not city name. And then we need to provide references. So I type references. It's mean which other table's primary key is referring. So I provide the table name city, and inside the parenthesis we need to provide the primary key column, which is CID. Then we need to close our command and just execute it. When we create new table and we want to set primary key and foreign key, we need to follow this process. But now I'm going to show you if we have existing table and I want to set foreign key in this table. For this, similarly, we need to use alter table keyword, and then we need to provide table name. After that, we need to type add keyword and just type foreign key, and we need to provide the column name. As reference, we need to provide the table name, which is city, and inside the parenthesis we need to provide primary key column name from city table. So let's start the practical and see how it's work. Hello friends, finally I am back to my MySQL Workbench application, and I also open XAMPP control panel. First I'm going to start Apache, and then I'm going to start MySQL, and we need to wait for green signal. Now our server is ready for connection, so I'm going to hover on my connection name demo and double click on it. Here you can see a database named student, and there is no table on this database. I drop all the tables from this database. So first I'm going to create a table named city. So I'm going to type in my query section create table, and our table name is city. Then inside the parenthesis, our first column name is city ID, means CID, and its data type is int, and I'm going to use not null constraint, and also I'm going to use auto increment. That's it. This is our first column. Our next column name is city name, and its data type is varchar, and I'm going to set a limit for we can only use 50 characters, and also I'm going to use not null constraint. That's it. And now I'm going to set a primary key to this table. So I'm going to type primary key inside the parenthesis, and I want to primary key CID column, so I'm going to type CID. If I execute this command and reload the schema section, here you can see the table name city, and if I show you my table, here you can see it's totally empty. And now I want to add value to this table, and I'm going to insert 4 city name in this table. So I'm going to type insert into our table name city. Then inside the parenthesis, I'm going to pass only city name column, city name, and our values are inside the parenthesis. Our first city name is Delhi, comma, our second city name is Kolkata, and our third city name is New York, and our last city name is London, and semicolon to end this line. If I execute this code, it's going to add all the data in our table. Let's execute it. It's executed successfully. If I show you my table, here you can see all the city names. If you notice, here you can see I use only one column name, which is city name. I do not use city ID to insert data, because when we create the table, we use auto increment for CID column. That's why we don't need to provide the value for CID column. It's automatically increase. And now I'm going to create our second table, personal. So I'm going to type personal, and our first column name is ID, and its data type is also int, and I use not null constant, and I don't want to auto increment it, so I'm going to remove this one. And our second column is name, and also I'm going to use varchar data type for this, and I use not null constant for this. And our third column name is percentage, and its data type is int, and its data type is int, and also I'm going to use not null constant, comma. Our fourth column name is age, and I'm going to use int data type for this, and I don't want to leave this column empty, so I use not null. Our next column name is gender, and its data type is varchar, and I want to pass only one character, and also I don't want to leave it blank, so I use not null. And our last column name is student city, mean SCT, but here I'm going to use int data type, and you know the reason. And also I'm going to use not null constant, comma, and now I'm going to set primary key for this table, and I want to set primary key id column, comma, and now I want to create the foreign key, so I'm going to type foreign key. Then inside the parenthesis we need to provide the column name, which I want to make foreign key, and I want to make foreign key SCT column, so I'm going to type SCT. And now we need to provide the reference, which table I want to use. With that we need to provide which column we want to use, so I'm going to type reference, and our table name is city. And if I click on the city table, here you can see a column named CID, which is our primary key, and I'm going to use this column. So inside the parenthesis I'm going to type CID, means city ID. That's it. If I execute this command and refresh this schema section, our new table personal. So our code executes successfully. Now I want to add data to this table. For this I already create some dummy data, so I'm going to paste this dummy data here. Here you can see my data, and you already learned about it, how we can insert multiple data in our table. So I'm going to execute this command only. So I click here and I'm going to execute this icon. If I execute this icon, here you can see an error, duplicate entry 4 for key primary. Here you can see I use same ID for Neha and Lucas, so I'm going to change 4 to 5, and then I'm going to run this code. Here you can see now it's executed successfully. And if I show you my table, here you can see all the data. So you can see it create our table and store our multiple values. And here you can see a column name SCT. We store multiple ID in our city column because this is our foreign key column. So this is the way we can set primary key and foreign key in a table. So now you can think we can see only ID, not the city name. If you want to show the city name when we select the city, for this we need to use join clause. And we are going to learn about it in our next video, how we can combine our table using join clause. Thanks for watching this video. See you soon.